On my 40th birthday, I ran 40 miles. I'm very active, mountain biking, hiking, and so on. If you're unfamiliar with an ECMO machine, this machine removes your blood, oxygenates it, then puts it back in you. That's essentially the last straw.
Just a typical day that I go out in the yard and I start feeling short of breath. It took all I had to get up to the garage to get in the house. This has been an experience I would wish on anybody. Nobody should have to go through anything like what we went through with this.
I had bronchitis, and they did an x-ray and said I had pneumonia.
And they assessed her. By that time, she had a temperature, and they sent her to Harborview. She was on her way out the door when the virus hit there, and it just hit with a vengeance.
I had been talking to my mom. She was like, "Robbie, you don't look good. I think you should go to the hospital." And my daughter was like, "Mom, there's something really, really wrong. You need to go." My brother, who is a drill sergeant in the Army, he called me and was like, "Go to the hospital." I didn't really realize how serious this really was. They actually had my daughter talk to a chaplain because they really didn't think I was going to survive.
She was ranging between 70 and 74 oxygen level. Normal is 90 and above. I knew we were going to have a big problem, and we did.
Pulled up to the emergency room. I said, "I love you," and bye to my wife. I declined so rapidly, they put me on a ventilator.
I remember them telling me they were going to keep me overnight. I don't remember much else after that. And that's apparently when I collapsed.
They basically said that she was dying. They did let us suit up and go into the room. At least at that point, we were allowed to go in and say our goodbyes. I can't even imagine now that's not even allowed.
She was put on a ventilator in the emergency room. She was on the ventilator 38 days. And in the hospital, 53, I think.
You're not asleep, so to speak. You're kept asleep. I would have dreams of suffocation. I had another dream that my wife had passed and one of my kids. What was very unique about these dreams also was I was on so much medication. These were as real could be. I felt the way the bed felt. I smelled the room. I touched things. I could grab something. It was tangible. I mean, it was real life.
I remember thinking to myself, is this what dead is like? Am I dead? I can't be dead because I couldn't be thinking these thoughts logically. I was like, so what is it?
I don't know anything that went on. I was completely out of it, I guess. I didn't know I was that sick. I didn't know the kids came in and told me goodbye.
They had to do a tracheostomy on her. They thought she was going to have dialysis, then her blood level dropped. She had to have 4 units of blood she ended up getting. They had given me 20% chance. I said, she's going to make it. You just keep doing what you're doing. She pulled through.
After I woke up, I was very confused. It was hard to comprehend what was real. I would hold on to the railings on the bed, and I said, I know this is real.
She did get ICU delirium. You don't know anything. You don't recognize anybody. It's because you've been in intensive care all those days where you don't see anybody you remember.
The first real memory that I have was the nurse telling me, we're going to take this vent out, and what we need you to do is cough 3 times really hard. When she pulled that first time, it felt like she was pulling everything out of me. The most painful thing I'd ever been through in my life.
I was woken up by a nurse and a doctor, and they say, it's so great to see you. We've already spoken to your wife. She's incredibly happy. Kids are okay. They're happy. And I was just like, oh, it was the best single moment in my life. I got it all back.
The doctors were amazing. They definitely were personally invested in her. They all were very excited with her recovery.
One doctor went across the street because I liked coffee, but I didn't like what they served. And he went and got a cup of coffee and brought it in the hospital. I think they were fantastic.
With no one there except the nurses and doctors that would flow in and out, most hours I was alone. It was very, very lonely. One nurse just stood there and held my hand. I was really wanting my mom, and I really wanted my daughter, and I was crying. I was really, really upset. And she stayed there with me.
From the doctor to the nurses, I had good care. I just have the ultimate praise for that hospital. I just got to tell you, I have such admiration for them and all they go through, because they risk their lives every time they come to work.
They took time to come in and sit down and talk to me. I couldn't have asked for a better team.
What would I say to the healthcare team that provided care? You gave me back to my family. You gave my kids their dad back. Gave my parents their son back. You do more than you know.
When I was in the hospital, I saw how much these people work so hard with so very little, and they ask so little, and they literally put their lives on the line. And they were so kind and compassionate towards my family. You don't know what it means to me personally. You don't know what it means to my mother and my daughter and my brothers and my sisters. You have no idea what it means. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Everything just has a brighter light about it. If I could share 10% of my thankfulness to the rest of the world, I'm convinced the world would change.
Every breath that I take is a gift.